It's February 15th, and this is, of course, the video log takes 15, 30 something to a million. And after I review the account, I'm going to show you what I think about LHI when you found, I'm sorry, HLI, I always misspell it. When you found Stock Screener Gem, I'm going to go through some of their statements and also do a comparative valuation to Goldman Sachs. But first, and I'll tell you why Goldman Sachs in a minute, I think it's time for the account. Oh, can't see the number. I'm sitting at roughly $199.4 thousand, almost 200,000. Actually hit 200,000 intraday right at the end there, or right at the close, but then aftermarket dropped me down a little bit. Very exciting day, huge day actually. We'll go to that page in a second. If you can see that, that's 9.7 thousand, or let's call it 9,000 with the aftermarket move. $9,000 gain, which is very big. I think some of it is caused by the relief of, potential Soviet, Russian invasion of Ukraine, and apparently Putin has started moving some of his troops back. So I think it's a bit of a relief rally, but we'll see if that's sustainable. All right, so that's the account. Let me just quickly scroll down through it. So you'll see here the option plays. You can see that's the ticker symbol here, and then all the data you might need. You can feel free to pause the video player at any time to try to figure out the exact positions of what's going on. By the way, it's raining really hard right now. I'm in Southern California, and it's just pouring. So if it's a little noisy, that's why. All right, so you can see all the option positions here. I'm going to keep scrolling, and this is the equity here. I had a very spectacular day because of EBIX mainly. I've been waiting for this play to pay out for quite some time now. I've been selling some options against it, trying to collect some premium, but I'm really pleased to see that it went up 6.3% today. I'm completely smashing the markets today, which is makes me very happy. VIPS VIP shop went up almost 6% itself, so that's doing really well. I'm really glad. I got a couple of dividends coming in from that's what that plus sign means over here, from Realty Income, and the other one is from Main Street Capital. So that's about $100 there. So overall, I'm very pleased. PayPal only up 0.7%. It's fine. I'm just gonna hold it for now. I have some messages. What is going on here? Crypto price alerts are here. Get notified. Nope, not me. Okay, so the investment tab, 293,000 under management here. The margin currently is 32.13%. Looking to reduce that. Hopefully I can get rid of the PayPal position if it rises. It's a little bit more of a trade. Looking at the stocks, this is sorted by total return, Apple, EBIX, JD, Realty Income, and sorted by equity. Now, if you remember a couple episodes ago, or a few episodes ago, two of the top 4 positions in equity were actually red, and now they're green. I think VIP Shop was one of them, VIP Shop, and then EBIX, which turned green. I think JD was on the borderline of turning red. Okay, so that's the account tab. Next, I'm really excited about that 200K. Hopefully it happens soon. So I wanna be above 200K and just stay there. Okay, so I have that extra cash to operate with. It's gonna feel good. Hopefully it happens soon. Now, what I want to talk about is HLI. Now, HLI, I'm probably gonna mispronounce that. In fact, I'm certain I'm gonna mispronounce it. It's Julian Loki. Is that Loki like Loki from Thor? I don't know. But it came up on a screen, on a stock screener the other day. I actually have it recorded on video, me finding it. And after that, I did a little bit of research, and I delved into more of like what they do and how they make their money and some of their financials and some of their statements. And I want to share just their, overall kind of like 8K statement here. And this is a statement that basically gives you kind of like a glance of their numbers, and we don't need to get into the details, but what it tells me is that they're kind of in growing mode. And the reason I say that is because it looks like, they're growing their cash and they're growing their liabilities at similar rate. Okay, so if we look at the total assets versus total liabilities, wow, it's really pouring. It's crazy. I want to look into it. It's like somebody throwing buckets of water outside. I'll take a look at after video. So it looks like 500,000, more than 500,000, 600,000 extra. Well, no. Yeah, 600,000 and even over of total assets increase. But then you'll see here, let me see if you can see this. Oh, you can't see this. All right, 1 second. 1 second here. We'll do a little on the fly modification because there are no redos. Unless I forget the audio or something, I'm not doing any redos. All right, we'll do this. Oh, there's thunder. This is getting pretty exciting. All right, so you're probably not going to be able to see this unless you're on a desktop, and have waited for the high definition version of the video to come out. I think I've put up to 4K or maybe 1080p, I don't know. But one of the others, I think the 4K option is going to be there, but it's not going to show in 4K. I think it's going to show HD. So if you're watching this, you can just watch it on 1080p, just on regular HD. And it's going to be probably the same as the 4K version. Anyway, back on topic. So 600,000 extra total assets, but their liabilities also increased by a similar amount, by 500,000. Okay, this is actually not 500,000. This is 500,000, so 500 million. Excuse me for misspeaking there. These numbers are shown in thousands, just like most statements. Publicly traded company statements. So it just tells me that they're basically growing, right? Their expenses are growing, the company's growing. They have $1 billion in cash, roughly. You can see here this trick that I've taught you earlier is to compare the enterprise value with the market capitalization, and if the enterprise value is smaller, that means they're carrying cash. If the market capitalization is smaller than the enterprise value, that means they're carrying debt. So they have about $1 billion in cash, more or less, and increasing, and so is the revenue. So, but what I'm getting from all these numbers, and they're just rapidly growing company. Now, last time I mentioned that this company reminds me a little bit of Goldman Sachs because of the things that they do. So if I go here in the overview and we read through the description a little bit, you'll see that they do all kinds of transactions. They do merger and acquisitions. They help companies out with debt issues, basically. They do private placements, private equity, all kinds of transactions. They sponsor things. They do capital raising. So basically they do it all. Everything kind of like private market related, and they probably even do public company help as well. But look, recapitalization, deleveraging. Maybe that's what they need the cash for, but like I mentioned earlier, these kind of companies tend to actually carry debt, like Goldman Sachs, instead of have cash sitting on hand. So I don't know why they're a little bit too conservative. Maybe they have a hard time finding business or something like that. I really don't know the reasons behind the moves that these guys are making. Obviously, their management team knows a lot better than I do. So I'm not going to look at that. I'm the investor, so I'm just trying to figure out like is it sustainable or not, and what kind of information I can extract it, then I can use to my advantage personally. And in the pursuit of me being selfish and them being selfish, hopefully make something magical, which is capital creation. Now I can exit out this document here, and I've pulled up HLI on Finviz. So there are a few metrics. Overall, it looks pretty good. A few metrics that are worse than Goldman Sachs and a few that are better. But let's focus in on the debt first of all. Debt is good, but it's also a risk. And if we look at the Goldman Sachs debt, let me see if I can put them at similar value here. Goldman Sachs debt to equity is like 8.86, huge. Like, yeah, they have the size and they have the capital and the credibility to be able to take care of all that debt, but it's still kind of a burden. You still have to pay some interest on it, unless you're in Europe a few years ago where interest would be negative, so they would actually be getting paid for the amount of debt they have. Now, other factors, if we look at the margins here, the operating margin and the profit margin is actually smaller than Goldman Sachs. But what they do have going for them is, look at these numbers here, return on asset, return on investment, okay? So when we switch over to HLI, you'll see that the numbers are much bigger. You see 22%, 18% return on assets, very good. I don't know how sustainable that is, but it's very good. Now, price to earnings is not as impressive as Goldman Sachs. Price to earnings for Goldman Sachs is only 6.13, but one might argue that those earnings are even more unsustainable than HLI's. So Goldman Sachs pays 2.2% dividend, HLI pays 1.54. Another statistic that I zoomed in on is earnings per share. So and sales quarter over quarter and earnings per share earnings per share quarter over quarter and sales quarter over quarter. So these numbers are actually worse for sales on Goldman Sachs. So these guys are growing basically at triple the rate at Goldman Sachs is quarter over quarter, which doesn't necessarily say that much. Earnings per share this year, though, for HLI is 62.9%, almost 63%, whereas Goldman Sachs is only 17%. So this year they've grown quite a bit, right? I think that might be year over year. I'm not sure about how they measure it actually. Earnings per share next year, Goldman Sachs is expected to do 3.32%, and HLI is expected to do 10.5%. But it might not happen, right? This is just kind of somebody's guess. So this in the future is forward-looking. We don't know. Analysts also another forward-looking prediction here. Stock price for this company is 119, and right now it's trading at 111. So a little bit of upside there. Potential. One thing that I found interesting is actually the beta. So I think it's because they're not that leveraged. In fact, they're not leveraged at all. The beta is 0.67. So for every point the S&P 500 goes up or down, this company is likely to go up or down 0.67. I think I explained beta on this video much better than when I tried for 2 minutes on the other video. And Goldman Sachs beta is 1.47, so it's a little bit, it's levered, and that's why it moves more aggressively relative to the S&P 500. You see the volatility number here, up to 3%, and HLI is actually higher, potential volatility here. Now, what other metrics can we take away from this? They both have very good cash flow statistics here, and price to sales for Goldman Sachs is actually a lower ratio, so it could be, a better deal. But there are many metrics. One thing I do like about these companies, even though this one is significantly lower, it's only $7 billion company market capitalization. It only has 1,500 employees. And I like companies with some small employees because less things can go wrong. Goldman Sachs has 43,000. Relative to its revenue, of course, it's a smaller proportion. That was lightning, thunder. I think it's very close. It's very loud. It's very interesting. I really want to go outside and look at the rain. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay. 200,000 HLI could be a good buy. By the way, none of this is financial advice, of course. As always, if you could have a total loss in the markets. Your company your stock could go to zero. So there's plenty of risk out there in the markets. If you're having trouble or understanding or need any help with your finances, you should consult a professional. That's not me. I mean, I'm just some dude on YouTube who just does investing for himself. So don't copy what I do. All right. I think that I'm going to wrap it up here. It's been exciting. I can't wait to hit 200,000 tomorrow if it happens. I thought it was going to be a very negative week because of the constant tension of Russia, but it's not negative. For some reason, Putin decided to back away. And now everything is fine and dandy, apparently. Until tomorrow. Peace out.